go! Mike and John got it going on. Mike and John got it going on.
Is today the last day of May? I think so. Yeah, it's the 31st.
Well, tomorrow's the first day of June.
Yeah, so this would be the last day of May. That's why we're wearing black shirts today.
Right.
Kind of mourning the end of May.
Yeah. But, you know, the first day of June, there's something to celebrate.
There is.
Yeah.
And you know what? What better way to celebrate than with a ice cold Mike and John ale?
Ale. Remember,
Ale.
it's an ale.
It's not a brewski.
Yeah.
A Mike and John brewski.
Specially brewed Mike and John ale at Mike and John night at Eternity Brewing, Thursday, June 1st. I don't know if you've heard us talk about it.
We should probably be there then.
Yeah,
if it's
I
our
guess.
night.
Yeah, we should probably be
Yes.
there. Probably 6 o'clock.
I think they'll have the red carpet out for us.
Which, by the way, we will not be doing the show tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, because we're moving it to Thursday night at 6 o'clock at Eternity Brewing.
It's like when they move TV shows to different nights at different times.
Right. Well, it's summer now.
Yeah.
You know, we're in the summer season. We're in, you know.
It's a summer series.
So it's kind of moving it around the schedule.
They might make every night, every Thursday night, Mike and John night at Eternity after tomorrow night.
Clearly.
I just want to give you the heads up that that could be happening.
You know, they'll probably just rename it Mike and John Brewing Company.
Or, Mike and John Eternity.
Right.
You know?
And Eternity with Mike and John, people are like, no.
Not that long.
No, please.
Gosh, no.
What have I done?
It is going to be a lot of fun. And, of course, to get our Mike and John got it going on walk team for the walk to end Alzheimer's.
Right.
And, of course, taste the brew, and we'll get some good eats and stuff like that going on. Plus, our new Mike and John special edition purple shirts.
Right.
Will be there tomorrow night.
So
that's what they're telling us at the shirt makers.
We will debut them at Mike and John.
Yeah, they're so top secret.
That's
we haven't
their
even
debut.
seen them in person.
They'll
yet.
be debuted at Eternity Brewing.
Yes, they will.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a fun night. I hope to see you out there 6 o'clock Thursday night. Eternity Brewing. Mike and John got it going on.
You done with the commercial?
I don't know.
Okay, we're brought to you by our friend Jordan Genso, community servant, community realtor, as we celebrate Main Street May for the final day in May. More details on that coming up. But first, a look at local news. We'll see what's happening. Brought to you by Cooper and Binkley Jewelers in downtown Brighton.
All right, here's what's going on. The Southeast Michigan Council of Governments says Wednesday is the third Ozone Action Day of the year for Southeast Michigan. Temperatures, again, going to be in the 90s. SEMCOG says it's important for local governments, businesses, and individuals to do what they can to voluntarily lower pollutant emissions. Breathing high concentrations of ozone can cause a variety of health problems. Some actions that we can take to help minimize ozone formation include delaying mowing your lawn until the evening, which, frankly, who wants to get out there at noon, frankly, and be mowing their lawn? Avoid refueling your vehicle during daylight hours and try to reduce electricity usage where possible. A contractor from Livingston County has been bound over for trial after being charged by state authorities with fraud for work he did in the city of Detroit. 50-year-old David Scott McDonald of Howell is accused of fraudulently billing the city over $1 million for backfilled dirt used to demolish properties that he obtained at no cost and from contaminated sources. In 2017, McDonald was employed by the Dead Man Company to lead the company's demolition program. Officials say McDonald repeatedly claimed to have paid for dirt that he had obtained at no cost, lied about the source of the dirt, and then billed the Detroit Land Bank Authority for fictitious sums. Denman allegedly received more than $1.1 million for reimbursement for backfill material without actually incurring those costs, while the unapproved source of backfill material is considered environmentally contaminated. McDonald will be arraigned June 7th in Wayne County Circuit Court. And after more than 40 years of service as a firefighter, the last 10 of which were leading the Howell Schools Fire Academy, Brighton Area Fire Authority Captain Tom Kiurski will be officially retiring at the end of June. Kiurski came to the Fire Authority in 2012 after retiring from the city of Livonia, but had been teaching at various academies since 1989. Kiurski said he and Mike Witt, a career firefighter who was then president of the Howell Public Schools Board of Education, worked together in 2012 to bring an academy to Howell High School. Renovating an old auto shop class at the school, they were able to turn it into a realistic fire station setting, convincing a variety of departments to donate surplus equipment that could be used to teach students. 10 years later, Kiurski says the time is right to move on. You can hear the full interview with Captain Kiurski and Mike Witt. It's coming up in just a few minutes right here on Mike and John Got It Going On. You can find out more details as well on our website, mikeandjohnpodcast.com.
You know what else is available on our website, John?
What?
Mike and John merch.
That's true.
Click down the merch store link. Get the latest fashions for these hot summer days and cool summer nights for those bonfires.
Hey, do you know what we're going to be debuting?
Our new
On Thursday night?
Mike and John
yeah,
Walk to End Alzheimer's shirts.
Oh my God.
We're going to be debuting those.
Yeah,
aren't
we are. Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
I'll let you know.
Okay. Of course, news brought to you by Cooper and Binkley Jewelers in downtown Brighton. Brighton's preeminent jewelry store with a commitment to customer service, community involvement, honesty, professionalism, and exquisite merchandise. And of course, all the businesses in downtown Brighton. Looking for your help to stay afloat, especially during the construction in downtown Brighton. The streetscape, when's that going to be done? Next week?
No.
Not next week.
No.
So be sure to support our local businesses, including those that support our events and things that go on in our community, like Cooper and Binkley Jewelers. So if you're looking to reimagine a piece of old jewelry, looking for something custom designed, they can take care of you. The latest from Zagani and Simon G. at Cooper and Binkley Jewelers in downtown Brighton. Stop by and see them today. They've got those one-of-a-kind keepsakes just for you, cooperandbinkleyjewelers.com or downtown Brighton on Main Street.
Hey, did we tell you that Thursday night at 6 o'clock, it's Mike and John night at Eternity Brewing?
I don't think so, but I feel like I'm having deja vu.
I just wanted to let you know.
There's something going on tomorrow night?
Yeah.
At what time?
Yeah. 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Yeah. Stop on by. It's, of course, to benefit the Walk to End Alzheimer's.
You know, at 6, we've got your back.
Yeah.
We've got your 6.
We've got your 6.
Yeah, we do. Okay. At 6.
All right.
At Eternity.
All right. Thanks, Top Gun.
Well, that's no, that's your wingman.
Yeah.
Got your 6. That's more of the cops.
Right.
I got your 6.
That's actually
you go in first.
That's an aviator term.
That is too. Yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah.
Got your 6. You got my 6.
You got to think of the 360 degrees.
Or the clock.
Yeah.
Because the 6 is in the back.
You're 6, right. And they're thinking about a clock face.
So look at that. We're learning something every day here.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to throw in there?
I think we've thrown in enough.
You got it all?
Yeah.
Okay. Tuesday Night Trivia, or TNT as we like to call it. ACDC likes that as well. Brought to you by Firehouse Doors. Didn't you mention something about Mike Witt?
I did.
Yes.
Of course,
from Firehouse Doors.
Owner of Firehouse Doors, and we'll be having an interview with him and Captain Kiurski coming up here in just a few minutes.
If you don't mind when we do that interview, I'll probably sit to the side.
Right. Why don't you let me handle that?
Because you're the interview expert.
Well, interviewer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's the phrase.
You're the interview expert.
It's the phrase that pays.
Trivia brought to you by OG sponsor Firehouse Doors, serving Livingston County for over 25 years with unparalleled service and products. The question reads as such: 60% of adults over the age of 40 said they owned these while growing up. What are these, or what did they own?
Yeah.
Let's go to the page instead of the phones, shall we?
Yes, we shall.
Now, the cool thing about this is, since we're a little bit over 40, just a tad, some of these things we may have owned or still own. And I got to believe the people that chimed in probably might still own some of these things. For example, Bart said lawn darts are jarts.
Right.
The original jarts.
If you have a set of original jarts,
they're about $100 on Marketplace and
worth something.
Craigslist. Yeah, because they
some sort of,
yeah, we played with those things.
Defensive weapon.
Those ones, hey, let's throw them up in the air. Or your brother's standing across from you, because basically it was horseshoes with darts
with spears.
Yeah. Which really, when you look at horseshoes too, that's not really a safe game.
It wasn't. You're supposed to aim it low. I mean, if you're throwing at people's heads,
Well, same with jarts. You got to go up to you got to nail the landing. You got to stick the landing.
Right. But if the landing happens to be inside your brother,
I don't know that there was that many injuries in jarts. Was there?
I don't know. I don't have the jart statistics in front of me right now. Sorry.
Yeah.
George said a pogo stick.
I didn't have one. My brother did.
Yeah.
We
had a neighbor at a pogo stick. And here's the thing. I think your experience with the pogo stick is much like mine. Boing, boing, off.
Are we talking pogo sticks or something else?
No, I'm just saying. Boing, boing, fall. Boing, boing, fall. I'm done with this stupid thing.
a spring gets a little rusty from sitting in the garage. Or how many sidewalk blocks you could go, and that was 2.
Not even.
Beverly Ann said bell bottoms. Now, since I was not as, we'll just say vertically challenged, bell bottoms would look kind of funny. So flares were more, or boot cut.
Right.
But I did have one pair of bell bottoms where you could hardly see your shoe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Did Tough Skins come in bell bottoms?
I think they were just a natural flare. I don't think they came in regular, the big bells.
The early 70s bells.
So Terry covered every form of music, from 8-tracks to cassettes, 45s, vinyl records.
They're all wrong.
Yeah, but we probably all had those.
Well, yeah, of course. Trading cards. Laura said trading cards of some sort.
Well, you still have some.
Still have some trading cards.
I still got my Tigers from the 1970s, maybe a couple from the 60s.
Oh, those some vintage.
Yeah.
Vern Rule.
Oh, yeah. Tom Timmerman.
Yeah, there you
go.
There's some.
I like this one, and we never had one, but our neighbors did, a slip and slide.
Right.
Yeah, those were fun. Or you just get some hefty bags. Whitney said walkie-talkies. Did you ever have walkie-talkies as a kid? Yeah. My neighbors had them, so we didn't need them.
You get more than like 10 feet away, and they didn't work very well. What? Yeah, and then you get the little Morse code thing on the back, and you try to...
Yeah, no, slow down.
What? Now say it again. Christine said, well, she had a couple answers. One was fake IDs.
Yeah, you bad people.
I would never do that. Cut the little numbers out of the phone book. And the way licenses used to be, you could scrape out and then place the number in gently and then put a layer of glue over
or nail polish, wasn't it?
Yeah, maybe you're right. I think it was.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I've never seen this done. That's what my friends were saying.
I think I saw it on Burn Notice.
Yeah, that was. It's Sharon Gless's birthday today.
Oh,
she's
is it?
80. Yes.
Oh, wow.
I think
Okay.
she's 80. Huh. Nancy Drew books. What else? A hula hoop.
Yeah. Christine must have had 17 answers. She
Okay.
also said retainers.
She's disqualified.
And Jordache jeans. They're all wrong.
Big wheel. Did you ever have a big wheel?
I did.
The green machine.
That's a different thing.
Yeah, but they're the same. Same concept.
Right,
the green machine you just could see from 8 miles away.
I had my big wheel stolen. That was...
We used our big wheel so much, and I think it was my brother's, but we wore the plastic that the wheel would
tire?
crack
Yeah.
and the front big
Right.
wheel, and you couldn't. There wasn't a big wheel shop.
Wasn't
You couldn't buy the replacement big
you
wheel.
couldn't take it to Murphy's Big Wheel
No,
repair.
you had to go to Toys R Us and buy a whole new big wheel. Jump rope said Pamela. VHS tapes.
Oh, wow.
Wendy S. Garlic said that.
Yeah.
Garlock. Sorry, not garlic.
Pocket knife.
We used to take our pocket knives to school and whittle on recess.
Different age.
Yes, it
Different
was.
time.
Put it in my cowboy boot. Yeah.
Different
That
time.
was classy.
Rubik's Cube.
I think we were a little older when Rubik's Cube came.
I mean,
not that you would have to have
I
it as 8
remember
or
it.
9, but I think we were probably in our 20-somethings by then.
No, that came out in, that was early 80s.
The Rubik's Cube? did?
Yeah, for sure.
I wasn't rich enough to have a Rubik's Cube or a Walkman.
I remember getting the Rubik's Cube, getting frustrated with it after about 30 seconds.
And you used the
And
screwdriver
then taking the
method.
screwdriver to pop that thing apart and put it back together the right way.
Maybe you're right. I think my brother had a Rubik's Cube. Walkman, said Michael. I think a lot of people had the Walkman, whether it was a Discman or Walkman.
Right.
Walking around with their headphones in. People don't do that anymore, do they, with their headphones in? No, they just have their earbuds in their phone.
Yeah. Madonna said hula hoop.
Yeah.
The old hula hoop.
Yeah. But are you good at it?
Yeah.
That's the thing. That was another one. Boink, boink. Swoop, swoop, drop.
That wasn't even. Just whoop, drop.
Yep.
Okay.
The Cabbage Patch Kids, said Karen.
Now-
We did have one spot on guess.
Okay,
There's
before
another one that's potential.
Okay, before you get to that, though, I thought this was an interesting answer. Rick said siblings. He owned his siblings. I think Rick must have been an older brother.
Could have been.
I'm guessing.
Val said ice skates. Alana said a pair of Vans.
So
They're Vans like Spicoli.
ice skates, pretty close.
It's close.
But not quite.
You know what else was close? Rollerblades.
Yeah.
But not quite.
I don't know.
Roller skates.
You're not gonna take rollerblades?
Rollerblades are a 90s thing.
Yeah.
I suppose. All right, we'll take rollerblades
Okay.
because they have wheels and they're skates.
I mean, that people,
All
yeah,
right, I guess. I suppose.
Yeah,
So
all right.
Sarah got it right, nailed it with roller skates. Nancy said rollerblades.
All right.
Nancy clearly copied and just changed her answer a little bit, so we'll put Nancy on the list.
Nancy, you're welcome.
Yes, you are. John. John's the nice one.
I'm like
of
the
us two.
French judge. Yeah, sure.
He gave you a 20. All right. So Nancy and Sarah will be in the drawing on Friday
Right.
for the $100 in gift cards, courtesy of Jordan Genso, community servant, community realtor, official Giggle realtor. And that drawing will be done at Buff City. The package picked up.
Yeah, they'll pick it up at Buff City Soap. And again, $100 of gift cards to downtown Brighton businesses, all courtesy of Jordan Genso, our show sponsor from Remax Platinum, community servant, community realtor. Give him a call, 248-444-9777. 15 years of real estate experience. And
Going to
Livingston
Buff
County
City
and-
Soap like Jordan did. Check out the man section. They've got those fancy man soaps. The ones that have fun names.
Yeah.
You can even customize your scent. Just like we customized our beer.
Well, that's true. So thanks to Jordan,
Yes.
of course, and highlighting the different downtown businesses. And
Wait, we'll be doing that drawing in June, so.
technically, yeah.
But since today's in May,
We'll be doing that drawing a day after it's Mike and John night.
When is that?
And Eternity Brewing. Did you know we're going to do the show there on Thursday
we
night
are?
at 6:00?
that means we got to pack up all this stuff.
I know. That's what that box is over there for.
I guess that's what we'll be doing today.
Yeah. So, tomorrow morning there won't be a show because we're moving it to 6:00.
We have to rest up for
Thursday.
the
Oh,
nighttime
yeah,
show.
yeah, absolutely.
So we're usually in bed by 6 p.m.
Well, that's the same truth, isn't it?
All right. So Captain is retiring.
Yes, Captain Tom Kiurski with the Brighton Area Fire Authority. He's going to be stepping down after 10 years leading the Howell Fire Academy. And I had a chance to sit down with both him and Mike Witt, of course, from Firehouse Doors. Mike Witt, a career firefighter as well. And at the time, he was the Howell Schools board president and helped to bring the Fire Academy to Howell High School. So sat down with those two gentlemen last week and went something like this. Kiurski, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
And so first of all, so you're going to be retiring when?
End of June.
End of June.
So this academy will be done and over with, and yeah. So when this is all wrapped up, I'll be gone.
And how many years in the fire service?
43.
Wow. And so how long have you been with Brighton?
10.
10. Okay. And that was with the Fire Academy.
Yeah, I started
Yeah.
out here with the thought of starting a fire academy, and I've done some other stuff here as well. But mainly, this is my main job is to run the academy. So this is wrapping up Academy 10 right now.
Okay. So Mike, you were instrumental in helping to get the academy off the ground and get it running. So take us back 10 years to how this all kind of came together.
So 10 years ago, actually 11 years ago, Kim and I were elected to the Howell Schools Board of Education, and we had some emergency services programs, the EMT program, and we had some facilities that were available at the school, and we saw a need within the community and the state for firefighters. So had a sit-down discussion with Chief Pless of Howell Fire, and we kicked around the feasibility of offering a fire academy in a high school setting for students. And it morphed from there. We brought in the other chiefs. Chief O'Brien from Brighton was instrumental in it as well, and actually became the department that provided the instructor for it. But it was a lot of work at first. We were fortunate. It was really a perfect storm. We had facilities in the high school that weren't being used, so we had the square footage to be able to offer the program. It was really incredible to be able to put a fire station inside a high school. We took an old auto shop class, we renovated the area, put in a larger overhead door, put locker rooms in, and really turned it into a fire station. But the big thing is with schools, the financial dollars are always really limited, And that was really where I came in working with Tom to get all the equipment that he needed. I was a current career firefighter at the time, and so I reached out to a lot of departments and got surplus equipment that they needed that we could use to teach the kids. We had well over $1 million worth of equipment, and the cost out of pocket was less than $10,000.
So let's remind folks exactly what the Academy does. It was a unique concept to put this together. So Captain, if you will, the Fire Academy, obviously it's training individuals to potentially go into the fire service. But what made that Fire Academy, this Fire Academy, is really special?
Well, the law kind of changed in 2011 that said we can bring training down to 16-year-olds and certify them as firefighters with certain restrictions until they hit age 18. And I'd been teaching at the colleges for a long time, the Fire Academy stuff, and thought that was an interesting concept, but I realized that, that could be useful in some settings. I was in a different area at the time, so I never thought that I would end up there. And then, so once this wheel started rolling, then my name got brought into it, that I'm going to be retiring. I have a background in training. How about him? And it's like, I was kind of all set. I was going to stay at the college, and that was going to be a pretty easy one because I taught all the classes. It's 2 miles from my house, all of that. But this kind of provided me with that, this will be a challenge. This will be new. This will be something different. Am I ready to do that? And I said, yes, I am ready to do that. So came out here, and there were a lot of challenges, but a lot of great folks helped work. And again, so you call it the perfect storm. I call it the stars all aligned. Yep. Everything came together to make this thing happen. Very supportive from so many different angles. And together we were able to bring that training down to these kids so they can be a part-time firefighter, work their way into a full-time fire department. When they get older, they'll need EMT down the road for that, but we offer that through the school as well. So they could potentially leave high school with Firefighter 1 and 2 certification, which is the minimum you need to be a firefighter, basic EMT, which is a minimum you need to be a firefighter, so they can start applying for jobs, and it didn't cost them anything for the training.
Yeah, and it's more than just potential. In the 10 years, do you have any numbers? I mean, how many people have gone through the academy? I mean, even just rough numbers that have ended up.
We go 25 a year for 10 years, roughly 250-ish.
Yeah, and most of them have moved on into some form of
Most have done fire at some point. Many are still doing it. They're picking right up and doing, what we did when we were younger. We got full-time fire department, and that was going to be our career. Some have other careers, and they're doing it part-time. And some did it for a period in their life, and then they decided this isn't right for them anymore, or they've moved somewhere else that's not serviced by a part-time paid-on-call fire department, and so they don't do it anymore.
Right.
But anyway, the people who even don't do this in the academy, they still got something out of the program, I like to think. Because,
life skills.
Yeah, because they are there at 7 o'clock, not 7:05 or 7:07. They realize there's consequences. We run it like a fire academy at the college. So they are there at 7, no phones in the class, no one brings backpack, no one's sleeping, no one's texting each other. They're wearing uniforms, so they learn some good life skills.
Yeah. So Mike, I guess talk about how unique this program is. It's one of only very few in the country.
It's one of very few that have been successful in the country. There's been a lot of communities or a lot of districts that have tried to emulate this program, and they haven't been as successful. One of the biggest reasons for our success is Captain Kiurski. He is a instructor that's recognized nationally. He taught at the FDIC, which is a conference for instructors within the fire service. This program would not have been to the point that it is had we not have had somebody of his caliber teaching this program. And the important part about this to think too is, as Tom had said, 16 years old, you can get the training. So a student can go into the fire academy in their junior year, and in their senior year take the EMT. They can graduate high school, firefighter 2, hazmat operations, and an emergency medical technician, which is all of the certifications and credentials they need to get on a career department or a paid-on-call department with zero debt, which is excellent. But the nice thing is too, is when you're interviewing for a position and they talk to you and they ask you questions about where did you get your education from. As soon as they say the Howell Fire Academy, there's a level of credibility to that, and that's all because of Tom. The chiefs know the type of instructor he is, the standards that he sets, and the program that he offers. So that's a step up from a lot of other situations. So that's really what's benefited the kids a lot.
Yeah. And so I saw the Brighton Fire Department has brought on somebody to sort of step in and move the academy forward.
Absolutely. Yep.
And so I guess, as you kind of wrap up your time, and where do you hope to see this go?
So let's let someone else run it for the next 10 years. The ideal candidate to replace me, in my mind, would be younger than me. About 99% of the population is younger than me, so that wasn't a problem. Someone who operationally runs on the department, so runs on calls and things like that, which I stopped doing a few years ago. He's young enough, he still goes on calls, so that'll be great. And someone who's a little bit more into some more of the tech stuff, the more computer stuff. So, I have the kids, I play a game of Jeopardy with them where they kind of buzz in, which is old school. They remind me that I'm old school at this point in the academy. At the beginning of the academy, we're a little bit too strict. They wouldn't say that, but now they can. But now we've got him, he's got this thing, everybody bring your phones to class tomorrow. And what? We're going to play Kahoot. I go, what is that? And it's a game they can play on their phone, and it's just as fun, just as competitive. They're playing individually there. So a little bit more on the technological end.
That brings up an interesting point in terms of technology, how firefighting has had to adapt to new technologies or brought those in, and how do you work that? You work that into the curriculum, I imagine, that when they're graduating from here, they are up to date on the latest techniques and strategies.
Yep. So the job evolves. You might not think so. I mean, we still put the wet stuff on the red stuff. That hasn't changed. But the use of thermal imaging cameras, our SCBA, self-contained breathing apparatus they all go through changes. They seem kind of minor at the time, but we got to get up to speed. And so the SCBA that they're wearing now, even in training, resemble nothing like what we wore when we first started. They're just that much more advanced. So it's good that they're getting the latest and the greatest. Now their careers will probably see hopefully as many changes as we've seen in our careers, and that's good. They're ready for it.
Right. And so, Mike, I guess with Captain Kiurski, moving on, and you two having this relationship from the beginning to kind of put this thing together, it's sort of the end of an era, I guess.
I think it's the start of a new generation. I don't like to look at things as an end, but as a start.
Yeah.
So it's a chance for somebody else to put their touch on the academy and see where they can take it. The new instructor is a great individual. He's got really big shoes to fill. Really big shoes to fill.
I'm going to tell just a couple of highlights. So when I have past cadets come back and want to teach on their own time, son Nolan, who's on Midland Fire Department, comes back on his own and teaches, shares his knowledge that he got way back in Academy 2, plus all of his experience since then. It's does my heart good to know that. We had another instructor today, same thing. She was in Academy number 3, and she's coming back on her time and imparting her knowledge and her flair on it. And I've had some of the female cadets in the class say, I want to talk to her again about how she got on in a male-dominated field, so kind of get that female perspective on it. Some of the kids, just like last month we had a training class, and they were ready for it at the time. We had practiced this skill with low level. It's jumping out a window onto a ladder and doing what they call a head-first ladder slide. So we're doing that from the second floor of a building now. And the one guy was like, I don't want to do this. I don't. And it's like, come on, your turn. And so you try the stern approach, and it's like, no, I'm not doing it. And so then it's like, okay, I really want you to do it. So if I do it with you, will you do it you do that with me? I said, yep, I will. Let's go up and do it together. And he did, and just a look of accomplishment on his face when he did something that he never thought he was going to do. It's great.
Yeah, and I guess that brings into focus that you are still working with kids. So
Yeah.
you have to kind of, I guess meet them where they're at.
Yep.
And
And they have different skill sets that they bring. Some are very comfortable on ladders, some aren't. And I had one of my female cadets tell me this year that her goal is to be a full-time cosmetology person and do Fire Academy part-time. And she came up to me last month. She goes, I think I'm going to actually turn that around. I want to do fire full-time. And I will do some hair cutting, some of that cosmetology stuff part-time. I said, wow, that's awesome. So they see what's available, and they get the bug, and that's great. I love it.
right, absolutely.
That's what I'm here for.
Mike, final words?
I think the most incredible part about this is when you look at the group of students on day one and you look at them at the graduation, the amount of growth and personal development and the confidence that these individuals gain in themselves, how they can handle an emergency situation, it's incredible. I think that even if they don't go into the fire service, that's probably the most incredible growth we can see with them.
All right, very cool. So, again,
Time to
congratulations
retire.
to Captain Kiurski, 43 years in the fire service. Pretty amazing career.
I don't mean to be a critic or anything, but
But you are anyway.
I didn't hear anything about chili in your interview.
I'm sorry to not get to
Did
the
not get
Chet's
to-
chili.
Every
That's
firehouse has
that's
the chili guy,
of
don't
course,
they?
a emergency
You
reference.
gotta dig deep.
TV series emergency.
Or maybe it's a rib guy.
Yeah.
Somebody who does ribs really good.
I don't know. I don't
Well.
believe. Now, I got a tour of the academy.
Yeah.
That's at the station there, and
Could slide down the pole.
there is no.
I don't think they
It
have
is not
poles
1942
I don't
anymore.
think they have poles anymore.
I don't believe they do.
Maybe some old school
maybe
firehouses.
There-
too.
and there was not a Dalmatian. So
Nah, that's just extra stuff to take care of.
No, but the fire academy there, state of the art stuff, and a lot of the equipment that they are using is really the exact same that the firefighters use. It's interesting because like the storage locker areas, like where the self-contained breathing apparatus or even the hoses that they use, they're kept in the same room, but they're color coded. So like these go for these are for the fire department, the actual fire runs that run out of that station, and then these are for the academy. But it's the same equipment. And so these kids are really learning on the same equipment and the various scenarios that they have set up there. It's a very cool thing to have. And it's quite a legacy, I think, for Captain Kiurski and for Mike Witt, who helped set this up. So
Yeah, very cool stuff. You don't know. I don't know of any other districts that have something like that.
Other
I'm
districts,
sure there are some.
Other districts have tried. This is by far the most successful one, and they have been. I mean, they're graduating their 10th class this year, and I believe it's 25 firefighters a class. And so most of them, a good majority of them, end up working at various departments, and I've met some of them, working at outlying departments, Brighton, Howell, South Lyon, elsewhere. And so they actually leave high school with these certifications, and then they can go right into the fire service. And the reputation of the fire academy is such that, fire departments know these students are going to be well trained. So
Very good stuff.
It's a great stuff.
So we appreciate the opportunity to talk to Chief Kiurski and of course, Mike Witt from Firehouse Doors. Also a great contribution to the local students and future firefighters. So our 2-cent history lesson for today, May 31st. Today is National Macaroon Day. Macaroon.
Who doesn't love a good macaroon?
I don't. But that's okay.
My
If you
grandma-
love macaroons,
my grandma always had macaroons.
have a macaroon.
Like, okay,
No thanks.
they're okay if you had to. They're kind of like a fig Newton.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
they're
why
not. When I say they're not like a fig Newton, but I mean they're in the same classification in my mind as a fig Newton. Like, oh, there's nothing else to eat. Okay, I'll have one of those.
I would say, oh, there's nothing else? I'm going to the store. Today is Save Your Hearing Day. Save Your Hearing Day. So when you have those earbuds in or headphones on, don't blast your ears so loud that you're deaf like Pete Townsend.
Well, even my kid driving home from school, and got the earbuds in. I'm just like, I'm listening to whatever they're listening to, you know, like, okay, you might want to turn those down.
that's what you sound like the old man. Turn
Hey,
that down.
turn those earbuds down.
When my son works out in the basement, you can hear it in the garage. It's one of those Bluetooth speaker things. I don't even know what you call it, but that's what it is. It's loud. National Speak Incomplete Sentences Day.
You mean it is National Complete Sentence Day? I mean, because we're trying to make that a complete sentence. It didn't work.
National Speak Incomplete Sentences Day.
Yeah, that too.
It was on this day in 1678. Lady Godiva made her famous naked ride through Coventry in protest of taxes. She was also looking for good chocolate.
Well, yeah. And when you say Lady Godiva, what's the first thing that comes into my brain? The
Maud.
theme from Maud. I can already hear that organ.
She was a freedom rider. But then
Lady
there's mine.
Godiva was a freedom rider.
1859.
Sorry, I didn't watch too much TV
Not
in
at
the
all.
70s at all.
While eating macaroons. 1859, Big Ben rings out over London for the first time.
Wow.
Look, it's Big Ben.
Parliament, Big Ben.
1880, the first U.S. National Bicycle Society was formed in Newport, Rhode Island.
Oh, wow.
It was known as the League of American Wheelmen. Yeah, it was the first biker gang. They'd ride up to bars, order a few Mike and John ales.
Well, yeah.
Say, we're on our bikes. We're the American Wheelmen. Sounds tough, doesn't it? Can you imagine them now with those bike helmets on? Nothing says tough like a bicycle helmet.
That's proper safety gear.
Sure it is.
It is proper safety gear.
We made it through it, didn't we?
Proper safety gear.
Sure.
When my kids were little and we would go on bike rides, you know, you make them wear the helmets. 'Cause, you know,
How come you're not wearing one, Dad?
Sir,
Because I survived
"Hey."
childhood bicycling. We used to jump, make wood ramps and jump over creeks with no
Well-
helmets or pads on. You just pray you didn't hit the middle bar if you landed rough. The first taxis began service in New York City in 1907. Not sure if there was any of those little
Taxi.
evergreen trees,
Yeah.
those pine trees. On this day in 1911, the Titanic was launched. Promo for the career of Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet.
How'd that do?
It did well at the box office.
Hey-o!
Better at the box office than on the water.
Yeah.
1990, the sitcom Seinfeld premiered on NBC.
Ba-dum-bum-bum-ba-dum.
And lots of catchphrases from
Oh
that
my
show.
God, that show. Still
Spare Square.
Still pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Shrinkage Jerry.
it's.
I hopped in my pool this weekend. We didn't have the heater on yet.
Oh well, that will. Yeah.
That's the first thing that you thought of is Shrinkage Jerry.
I had shrinkage.
And finally, it was on this day in 2005, former FBI official W. Mark Felt stepped forward as well. He might have stepped down as he stepped forward.
As he
it
stepped
was a
forward,
forward
he stepped
step
down off the step. Yeah.
as Deep Throat, the secret Washington Post source, helped bring down President Richard M. Nixon during the
Wood and
Watergate.
Bernstein confirmed that he was the guy.
Mark Felt.
And there's
What did the W stand for?
I'm not quite sure.
Watergate.
Watergate.
Mark Felt.
There's a series on HBO called The White House Plumbers, which is all about the Watergate.
So it really wasn't
Fiasco.
Wasn't about plumbers.
No, it was not about the.
No,
no, it
it's the
was
Watergate.
guys at
Yeah.
the White House. Hey, hand me that wrench over there, will
Hey,
you?
pull your pants up. Have a little respect for the Oval Office, will you? Come on now.
Yeah. So a very, very good series. And Mark Felt. It's interesting knowing now that he was Deep Throat.
Yeah.
They portrayed him in the series, and it's just an interesting thing that you know now that he's the guy that was actually passing all the details on.
He was the whistleblower.
Yeah.
That Felt was. That's your 2-cent history lesson for today. We hope
didn't
you
know.
learned a little something, but you've probably seen when the Taylor Swift tickets went on sale, the concert tickets, on how expensive they were and are.
Were they expensive?
I guess so.
I had no idea.
The Swifties were out in full force.
Right.
And the latest stories about her concerts, which I thought was interesting because some people in the 60s and 70s may have had the same experience, is that her current tour is called the Eras Concerts. She plays for over 3 hours.
Right.
In general, 44 songs. And the show is over.
Which is a lot. I mean,
Gosh,
a
yeah,
lot of
I mean-
bands do an hour and a half and they're
Yeah.
out the door. I mean,
Well, she's young enough where she can go 3.5 hours.
I mean,
because
Springsteen
Springsteen was the
still
one
does,
who was known for that
Right.
as far as most concerts. But really, when's the last concert you went to that one act played that long?
that
Probably
you wanted them to.
Yeah.
I mean, number times you're like,
Sure.
all right, wrap it up.
But the latest stories are that concert goers are having amnesia and not remembering all the songs. So they think, did they play that song? I can't remember if they played that one.
Because there's too many songs.
Well, it's either too many or
They're too excited.
there's other things going on in the
What's
crowd.
going on in the crowd?
Stuff in the air.
At a
causing
Taylor
them
Swift show?
amnesia.
You don't I don't know. I don't know that it's...
One fan described it as an out-of-body experience,
Okay.
as though it really didn't happen to me.
Okay.
Does that not sound like some kind of hippie concert? Like you're sitting in a
Like
Grateful
you're-
Dead
yeah,
show or
I
something?
suppose, yeah.
An out-of-body experience. One said, I think it was the best night of my life that I don't remember at all.
I think it was.
I think it was
I'm
the
being
best
told.
night.
I'm being told it was the best night of my life.
Well, it's you know what it's like when you go to a show and you're hoping they're like, why didn't they play that song?
Right.
And I'm sure there's reasons on why they didn't play that song. Maybe if you're going to see the Stones, there's so many, something like that.
As years go by and you look back on certain concerts, and in your mind you peg oh, that was a great show. Yeah. But then when you think do I actually remember any specific moment from that show? Again, years later.
Right.
Not really.
No, but they call it, and this is
for instance,
within
Van Halen.
The week up. Yeah.
I saw Van Halen at Cobo in '84. Great show, I think. I remember. I remember thinking it was a great show.
You're looking back 40 years. We're talking about a week after people are suffering from post-concert
Well, it was also Van
amnesia.
Halen, and there might have been something in the air.
Well, same thing. Taylor Swift is the new Van Halen. When you look at what's happening.
Okay. All right.
So, 3.5 hour show or 3 hour show, and they're saying a lot of fans are complaining of post-concert amnesia.
Wow.
Not remembering as much of it as they had hoped.
Interesting phenomena.
Yeah.
Something else that's an interesting phenomena that you might experience as you're driving
It's
down
coming.
I-96.
Oh, I thought we were talking about June 1st.
Heading west. Oh, we'll get to that.
Okay.
You might come across this lovely billboard.
That is a nice billboard.
Isn't
Our
that
new
nice?
billboard. Yeah.
I'm
More
the
colorful.
bald one.
Oh, you are?
Somebody came up to
Same
me.
as on the show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody came up to me and they said, I saw your billboard. I go, yeah. And they go, you're the bald one, right? I go, yeah. No, I wanted to go, no, I'm the other guy. What?
Well, maybe it was one of those, sometimes you say things and then you go, well, I probably shouldn't have said it that way. Or,
She was a little embarrassed, but it was a funny moment. But yeah. So
did you say we put Mike closer to the road so if somebody goes off, he gets hit first? Or if a plane flies by, boom, I'm the first one to go because I'm in the roadway.
Well, you're really worried about that, aren't you?
I really am.
Okay. Well, don't fret.
I won't.
Anyway, take a look at that thing there.
It's coming June 1st
That's tomorrow.
to a bar near you.
Thursday. Well, it's actually only coming to Eternity Brewing in
Yes,
Howell,
it is.
to be technically correct.
John
6
will be
o'clock.
there. The bald one.
I will be there, bald and all.
You could have a bald ale.
Mike and John night at Eternity Brewing. It's all to benefit the Walk to End Alzheimer's. We'll be signing up folks for the Mike and John walk team. Of course, the walk set for September 30th in downtown Howell.
It's our Got It Going On team.
Yeah, this is the Got It Going On team. And you come try Mike and John Ale, which you voted for, by the way.
I didn't vote at all.
You didn't vote at all?
No, I didn't. I'm not ashamed.
Let's
that I didn't.
take a look at those
I didn't.
results.
I felt that would be stacking the vote, whereas you covered.
I
for
voted
me.
every day.
So yeah, you voted for it, didn't you?
I and many other people.
I should have tried to vote against you to even the field.
Well, you could have.
Well,
That would have been perfectly acceptable.
you have more time on your hands, apparently.
Apparently.
I had to shampoo my hair.
Hey, you know what?
You're the bald one.
There's not
aren't
going to be any Mike and John night. It's just going to be Mike night. John's leaving.
you? John is getting upset.
John is getting upset.
All right. We hope to see everybody at Eternity tomorrow night. Thursday, June 1st, starting at 6 o'clock. The Walk to End Alzheimer's celebration and sign up. Of course, some of the champions from years gone by are going to be there. Should be a great time for a great cause. And we hope to see you out there as well to try the Mike and John Ale.
Right. And just
Voted on by John.
and others.
And a few others, like 6.
I would say
the whole
many
family
people may have voted. I would dare say
Oh, I dare
that
you.
our friend Glenn at Murphy's Family Auto, I'm sure, cast a vote or two.
I hope Glenn did.
Yeah. And we hope to see Glenn and Dennis and the whole gang from Murphy's Family Auto out
You know
at
what?
Mike and John
If they
night.
come out and say Mike and John sent me, they'll get a 5% discount. Just like they do for you when you come into Murphy's Family Auto.
That's true. They're open Saturdays 8 to 1. Check them out online, murphysfamilyauto.com. Tune-ups, brakes, shocks, tires. It's the whole shebang. Give them a call, 517-552-3040. Don't forget air conditioning, which,
Who needs air
on
conditioning?
days like these,
Everybody.
you want to make sure it's working.
Yes.
So Murphy's Family Auto, of course, supporters of Mike and John got it going on. Blah, 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 blah.
He had a blonde ale before he started.
So I appreciate their support and
Absolutely.
hope to see you out at Eternity Brewing tomorrow night, Thursday, 6 o'clock for Mike and John night.
We'll see you then.
We'll see you then, or
You'll see us then. We'll see each other then.
All right.
How's that? Let's
Man.
all get together. Talk about Maud. And the Lady Godiva.
yeah, she's a
Freedom Rider.
Freedom Rider.
You've been giggling with Mike and John. Tune in next time and giggle on.